I met Emily on a Thursday afternoon at a Target, of all places. I was standing in the checkout line, holding a frozen pizza and a bottle of mouthwash, just minding my own business, when she stepped behind me with a basket full of candles and some ridiculously overpriced dog treats. She looked tired, scrub top, hair tied up, name tag still clipped to her pocket, but she smiled at me like I was the most interesting thing in the room. "That's a sad dinner," she said, nodding toward my pizza. "Bachelor classic," I replied. "Why fix what works?" She laughed. We talked until we reached the cashier. Then I did something I hadn't done in years. I turned around and asked her out. Not smooth, not rehearsed, just, "I'm off tomorrow. Want to split this sad pizza and tell me what kind of dog those treats are for?" She stared at me for a second, smiled again. "Only if you're okay with talking about nurses who curse too much and drink boxed wine. Sounds like my kind of therapy." That's how it started. Nothing dramatic, no fireworks, just two tired people who liked each other immediately and didn't pretend otherwise. I was 24 then, just got through my second year of active duty, stationed in Fort Bliss, but on leave in Fort Worth. Emily was 26, full-time trauma nurse, already burned out and trying to stay hopeful. We were both blunt, direct, maybe a little jaded, but there was comfort in that. No games, just real. Within months, we were spending every weekend together. She came to my apartment after shifts with Panda Express and a bottle of cheap red. I started sleeping better, laughing more. She never asked me to open up, but somehow I did anyway. About the deployments, about the nightmares, about the friends who didn't come back. She never flinched. She used to say, "You don't scare me. You just carry heavy shit. I can handle that." And I believed her. We moved in together after a year, got a small place just outside El Paso. It wasn't much. Creaky floors, bad plumbing, loud neighbors. But we made it ours. Movie nights on the floor, morning coffee in silence, weekend drives to nowhere. She was always waiting for me when I came home late from base, always asked how training went, even if she didn't understand half the acronyms. She'd patch up my blisters, rub my shoulders, remind me to drink water. She made our place feel like safety. I proposed to her one night during a blackout. Candles everywhere, heat suffocating the apartment, and us sweating and laughing on the kitchen floor with warm wine and half-melted popsicles. She said yes through tears, and I remember thinking, this is it. This is the life they say you fight for. We got married 6 months later in a small courthouse ceremony. No fuss, just vows and truth. No family drama, no debts, just us. The Army took a lot out of me, but I always told myself, as long as she's there when I come back, I'll be fine. And for a while that was true. We talked about having kids after my next deployment, started looking at homes. She had a Pinterest board full of backyard fire pits and dog fences. We had savings, plans, timelines. When the orders came, 11 months in Europe, mostly Poland and Germany, she didn't cry. She just hugged me and said, "Come back whole. That's all I care about." And I promised I would. I kept my end of the deal. I just didn't know she wouldn't be there when I came home.
Deployment was never easy, but this time it hit different. Poland was cold, gray, efficient. The days blurred together. Drills, field exercises, endless reports, and the same recycled meals in the DFAC. The guys were solid. The mission made sense, and I kept myself focused. But no matter how good the rhythm, nothing fixes the whole of missing home. You just manage it, like a wound you learn not to pick at. Emily and I talked every chance we got. FaceTime, voice calls, messages. At first it was sweet, regular, intimate. She'd show me the dog doing something dumb, tell me how crazy night shifts were. I'd tell her about Polish winters, the guys I bunked with, the one guy who snored like a chainsaw. She'd laugh. I'd screenshot the smile. But somewhere around the third month, I noticed something. Small, quiet things. She stopped answering right away. I'd call and it would ring 4, 5 times before going to voicemail. She'd call back 2 hours later, sometimes not at all. I told myself she was busy. Hospitals were chaos, especially in flu season. But the pattern stuck. Then it was her voice. It changed. Not colder, just thinner, lighter. Like she was distracted the whole time we talked. Like I was background noise to something more urgent. I asked once, "Everything okay? You seem tired." She replied, "Just life, babe. You don't need to worry about me. Focus on staying alive." I laughed, told her I loved her. But deep down, something flickered. Not quite fear, just unease. Photos stopped coming too. At first, she sent pics of the dog, selfies at work, even dumb memes. That slowed down, then stopped. I started checking her Instagram, something I never used to do, just to feel connected. But she barely posted anymore. A few stories, group shots, nothing personal. The only thing that grew was the silence. I sent her a voice note one night. Just simple. "Hey, Em, just finished a cold-ass night patrol. Froze my balls off, but I thought about you the whole time. Hope you're doing okay. Miss your face." She didn't respond for 2 days. When she finally did, it was, "Sorry, been swamped. Love you." That was it. I stared at that message for a long time. Was I overthinking it? Probably. But when you're 5,000 miles from home, every word matters. Every missed call feels like a storm cloud. Every short answer feels like a secret. I started waking up at night feeling tense, like something was off. I'd reach for my phone before even brushing my teeth. Nothing. Or worse, she was active now, but hadn't messaged. I didn't say anything. I didn't want to come off paranoid, but my gut, that feeling you get after years of reading terrain, body language, risk, it was humming. Around month 6, her tone changed. Not angry, just indifferent. She used to ask questions. "How's your bunkmate? What'd you eat today? Tell me something funny that happened." Now she just said, "Cool. Wow. That's good, babe." I was still trying. Still texting good mornings and good nights. Still calling even when the Wi-Fi sucked. Still remembering what time her shift ended so I could catch her for 10 minutes before bed. But something had shifted. I just didn't know what. Yet. The last straw for me, though I didn't know it at the time, was our anniversary. 4 years married. I sent flowers through an international delivery service, wrote her a long note by hand, scanned it, and emailed it to her too. I even got our mutual friend Sarah to drop off a bottle of her favorite wine. She messaged me that night. "Thanks. That was really thoughtful." No call, no voice note, no photo. Just that. I stared at the screen in my bunk with my buddies laughing 2 feet away, and I felt like a goddamn ghost. Like I had died and she just hadn't told me yet. Still, I held the line, because that's what soldiers do. We trust until we can't. And I still wanted to believe. Maybe this was stress. Maybe I was too far away to read or write. But my gut, that feeling you'd get after years of reading terrain, body language, risk, it was humming. And around month 10, I had a feeling home wasn't waiting for me anymore. The drive from the base to our house took 2 hours. I could have done it in 90 minutes, but I took my time. I wanted to feel everything. The flat Texas highway, the smell of home, the heat on my skin. I rolled the windows down, turned the radio off, and just listened to the wind. My duffel was in the back seat, boots muddy, uniform stiff with dry sweat from the flight. I hadn't slept in 23 hours, but adrenaline kept me wide awake. I hadn't seen Emily in almost a year. I kept imagining her running out the door barefoot, hugging me before I could even park. But when I pulled into the driveway, nothing moved. No porch light, no sign in the window. Her car was gone. I sat there for a few seconds, gripping the wheel. Told myself, she's probably working, probably covering a double, maybe left a note inside. I walked up to the door, key still on my ring. The lock clicked, like always. Same smell, lavender candles and a trace of dog hair in the rug. The dog didn't bark. That hit first. Then I stepped into the kitchen. On the table was a single envelope. No name, just folded and placed dead center like it had been waiting for me. I didn't rush to open it. I stood there in full gear, helmet still clipped to my belt, just staring at it. I didn't want to read what I already knew, but eventually I opened it. Matt, I needed time to think. I'll explain everything soon. Please don't freak out. This isn't about you. I just needed space. I still love you. I'm sorry. M. No welcome home. No, I missed you. Just space. That word again. That excuse. I sat down at the table, let the silence wrap around me. The kind of silence that feels like it's watching you. The dog's bowl was empty. His leash was gone. His crate, too. She'd taken him. She didn't just need space. She moved out. I checked her bedroom. Half the closet was empty, her half. Drawers open, jewelry box gone. Bathroom sink cleared. Her side of the bed still made. Not just a weekend bag, she'd left with intent. I tried calling, straight to voicemail. I texted, "I'm home, where are you?" No response. For the next few hours, I sat in our house like a guest, like someone who broke in. Nothing looked broken, but everything felt wrong. I walked from room to room, hoping to feel something familiar, but even the walls were quiet. I checked her social media. Nothing new. Not even a story. Last post was 2 weeks ago, a group shot at work. I scanned the background. One guy, same face I'd seen twice before, smiling too close, hand behind her back. It meant nothing. Or maybe it meant everything. I didn't know yet. I messaged her sister. "Emily okay?" No reply. Her best friend. "Hey, just got back. Where is she?" Read. No reply. That's when it really hit. Not just that she left, but that they were covering for her. The wall of silence wasn't an accident. It was planned. I didn't cry. Not yet. I was too tired to cry, too stunned to scream. I just stripped off my uniform, dropped it on the floor, and sat on the edge of our bed, the one we'd shared for 4 years. I leaned forward, elbows on knees, and stared at the blank wall. This was supposed to be the moment of peace, the reward for everything, the end of the waiting, the homecoming. Instead, it felt like I walked into a house where love had been evacuated. And I knew she wasn't coming back tomorrow. Maybe not ever. I spent the next 2 days living like a stranger in my own house. Our bed felt foreign. The sheets still smelled faintly like her shampoo, but the warmth was gone. The fridge was almost empty, just a few expired condiments and a half-used jar of peanut butter. No sign anyone had cooked there in weeks. Her side of the sink in the bathroom was spotless. No makeup bag, no toothbrush, not even a damn hair tie. It wasn't a break, it was an exit. I called her again. Voicemail. Sent another message. No reply. By the third day, I stopped trying. Not because I didn't want answers, but because I already knew I wasn't going to get any from her. So I started looking on my own. I wasn't proud of it, but I logged into our shared iPad. She never changed her Apple ID. The messages were still syncing. Most recent thread was a guy named Sean. No last name, just Sean Hart. With a heart. That was all I needed. The texts went back 5 months. Casual at first, harmless jokes, late night, "You still up?" messages, pictures of their dinners together. Then it got more obvious. "Missed you last night. Can't wait for this weekend." And finally, "I hate sneaking around. I wish we could just be out in the open." His number had been saved under her boss's name for a while, probably to hide it from me. She even used our dog's vet appointment as a cover once. Texted him, "He bought it, LOL." I scrolled further. Screenshots of hotel bookings, selfies in scrubs, in his car. I stared at one where she was kissing him on the cheek in what looked like our living room. Our living room. My couch. My house. She had been bringing him here, to my home, while I was thousands of miles away thinking of her every damn night. I felt like I was going to throw up. I didn't punch the wall, didn't scream, didn't break my phone. I just sat there, holding the iPad, reading the betrayal like a report I needed to memorize. Cold, quiet, factual. It wasn't just Sean. A few names popped up again and again. Different men, different months. Maybe hookups, maybe more. One was even someone we'd met together once at a barbecue. She told me he was just a friend from work. Of course he was. I drove by her hospital the next day. Just parked across the street. Didn't go in. I wasn't there to confront her. I just wanted to see her walk out just once, to confirm she still existed in the real world and not just in the wreckage she left behind. I waited 3 hours. She never showed. That night, her best friend, Sarah, finally replied. Just 2 words. "I'm sorry." I called her. She picked up but didn't say anything for a while. Then she told me everything, how Emily started pulling away around Christmas, how she'd made excuses about feeling neglected, and how she swore she wasn't cheating, just figuring things out. Sarah tried to talk her out of it, tried to remind her I was still overseas, but Emily didn't care. "She said it felt like you weren't coming back," Sarah whispered. "That your life was there now, not with her." My life? My life was with her. That's what I fought for. That's why I counted the days, the hours, the goddamn seconds. And she used that absence like a permission slip. Not once, not with one man, but over and over. With practice, with planning, with silence. That night I sat in the backyard drinking whiskey out of a chipped coffee mug, staring at the sky. The same sky I used to look at from Poland, wondering if she was seeing it too. I used to think love was built to survive distance. Turns out some people aren't.
I never confronted her. Not in person, not over the phone. There was no dramatic showdown, no yelling in the rain, no final argument with slammed doors and screaming accusations. It didn't seem worth it. What could I say that wouldn't echo back into nothing? I packed up her remaining things a week later. I put everything in boxes, labeled them by room, and left them in the garage. I texted her once. "Your stuff's ready. You can come get it. I won't be here." She never replied, but 2 days later, the boxes were gone. She didn't leave a note this time. I changed the locks, not out of spite, just habit. I had spent the last 11 months guarding things most people never think twice about. Perimeters, patrols, routines, and I wasn't about to leave my own front door open for someone who'd already walked out without flinching. Friends kept asking how I was doing. I gave them the standard, "I'm fine." Truth was, I didn't know how I was doing. I was eating, sleeping, going to the gym, showing up to drill. I was functioning. But something inside me had gone quiet in a way that didn't feel temporary. It wasn't grief. It wasn't even heartbreak. It was stillness. A cold, clean emptiness that felt more honest than love ever had. I spent a lot of time in the garage, organizing gear, fixing old tools, rebuilding things just to feel like I still could. I reassembled the rifle I carried overseas, piece by piece, until it was perfect again. Funny how I could put that back together, but not the version of myself I was before her betrayal. I started going on long walks. No music, just boots on concrete and breath in my chest. I stopped checking her socials, blocked her number, not in anger, but just to end the habit. She had chosen her life. I chose not to be part of it. I thought a lot about the vows we made in that courthouse, in sickness and in health, for better or worse. I honored every word of that promise. She didn't. And there's freedom in knowing that. Eventually, I donated our couch, bought a new one, smaller, simpler, painted the bedroom, took down all the photos of us, not because I hated the memories, but because they were hers, and I didn't want to keep renting space in my life to someone who had already moved out. One night I saw her in town, walking with that same guy from the texts. She didn't see me. She laughed at something he said. Same laugh I used to love. It didn't hurt the way I thought it would. It didn't crush me. I just nodded to myself and kept walking. She was never mine to keep, just mine to lose. Now, months later, I live a quieter life. Still in the same house, but it feels different, lighter, like the air has finally cleared. I keep it clean, make coffee every morning, sometimes cook dinner for one. And you know what? That's enough. I don't hate her. I don't forgive her either. I just don't carry her anymore. I survived a war across the ocean, and I survived this one too. The second one left no scars on my body, just a silence I've grown to respect.